And thank you both for being here today in this challenging environment. I'm not sure if you're aware, but the standing committee, our standing committee, received a letter from Robin McDonald of Montague Regional High on behalf of over 100 island administrators, principals and vice principals, and they were asking for patience and procedural fairness while the Jenkins review is underway. Like they wrote, "We are concerned over premature calls for resignation or judgment before the findings of this review are complete." They also stressed that accountability remains paramount, so does the principle of procedural fairness. So I'm worried about the implications for staff morale and public trust if conclusions are reached before the Jenkins review is complete. All kinds of conclusions come from across over there right now without having all the facts on the table. So the question to you, do you believe that procedural fairness is being respected in the current climate?
With the current climate right now, as a system, we've been really struggling, I'll be honest with you. But we just have to trust that Jenkins is going to do his due diligence and do his work and come forth with it. And I will be one, I know my team will be one, and educators will be there to offer any support and advice and guidance that we see that we can make improvements if necessary, because the number one fundamental thing that we have is that we want to make sure that our students and staff are safe in their school environments. So it will take time, but I do have confidence and faith in Jenkins to do a very good job.
Brad.
Yeah, so I mean, it was quite unbelievable to hear Hal Perry, the leader of the opposition, actually stand up in this legislature and call for your immediate termination. It was way out of line. It was pure political grandstanding. It was unbelievable. Gord, you were guilty of it as well. So this letter that we got also warns to do otherwise risk politicizing a process that must remain objective, trauma-informed, and focus on long-term improvement for island children. These are over 100 administrators wrote this letter. This isn't me talking. You need to check in, Gord, with your constituents. The question, what concerns, if any, do you have about the review process being influenced by public or political pressure? And what can we do at the committee level to help safeguard the independence of this process?
Yeah, it's we just got to really trust the work that Jenkins does, and I'll be honest, it was very difficult when I was called and told about the comment.
Take a break. Okay. In terms of Commissioner Jenkins and the procedure, we trust. He's a well-respected former judge, and we trust that he will follow a process. Our first meeting with him personally was earlier this week. We already provided him with some information. We have we had a very positive, and he had a very positive approach with us. Our goals and his goals are the same, is to review if we have gaps, where are the gaps, what are the gaps, where are they, how do we problem solve this? Because we need to be proactive, we need to be able to be forward thinking. That's a strength of Tracy, to be forward thinking. I trust Commissioner Jenkins to be fair in his assessment of what's taking place in the public schools branch. He's also going to look at the French board as well, and we will be accountable for his recommendations. Once the recommendations are presented, we will be accountable, and I hope that this committee hold us accountable to the recommendations.
And the big thing too is what we find sometimes difficult is when things are shared that may have been fact or may not be fact, and that muddies the water. So that's why we just need to really trust the process and work with him.
Just the final question.
Absolutely, Brad.
And there's no doubt in my mind that that you and your teams and everyone in the school system has the best interests of the children at heart. And in this letter from these hundreds of administrators, or over 100 administrators, they urge elected officials to commit to evidence-based decision-making upon the review's conclusion, right? And that's kind of what you were just referring to there. So my question to you is, once the Jenkins report is released, what would you like to see from government and the public in terms of responding constructively to its findings? Like, how do you think once the evidence is collected that government and the public should respond?
I'm going to, assume that people will understand and appreciate that, when we're in education, we're in it because we love the kids and we want the best for the kids. And I'm hopeful and optimistic that when these recommendations come out, and I'm saying when, even though some people said, well, we don't know what's going to come. I have to believe that something's going to come of this that will help us be stronger so that we run less risk of this happening again. And I want to be able to feel confident that our system is trusted, our people are trusted, and that our parents feel supported so that we can all be there to wrap around for kids. And I really hope that this review does look at that big, wide scope. Like, we can't do it without the voice of kids. We need to have that support around us. And when recommendations come, I'm always big on this. We can't just have recommendations if we don't have the support to do them, because that's a system failure right there. So that would be my hope.
Okay, Gordon.